Hey, what up, my cosmic cousins? My beautiful brothers and my stupendous sisters. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm feeling pretty good today. You know, it's a really nice day out. It's sunny. I need that sun. And you know, some days out here, it just be gloomy for like 3 or 4 days consistently, and windy and no sun and fucking rain. I mean, that's great for the plants, but I think I'm a little more complex than a plant, and I need just a little bit more. Just a little bit more comfort. Sometimes, you know. Anyhow, yeah, I wanted to speak with y'all today about playing devil's advocate. Now, I'm sure you've heard that phrase. If you don't know exactly what it means, you know, looking at things from the other side, you know? If you have a usual route you take, it's kind of the opposite, just to kind of give you a mental taste of what it would be like to explore a different path. Now, they call it devil's advocate, and I'm gonna just speak out my face real quick and tell you that I think that shit is kind of devilish. And I say that because it's misleading and it can kind of lead you astray, I feel. Now, I mean, it can be very beneficial in a way, you know, if you're typically the type who doesn't like new experiences. You're like, nah, fuck it, I like my low comfort zone, it's very cozy in here, I'm not really stepping out of it. And a scenario comes up that could be a great opportunity for you, but it's kind of out your box. You could be like, yo, I'm gonna play devil's advocate real quick and be like, all right, what if I did that and things worked in my favor and it was not only a great night, but, you know, great follow-up and could change my life. That's a good way for it to work. However, if you're the type, as most of us are, because, you know, we're only human, and you have a trauma, an unresolved trauma, like maybe one time you stepped outside of your comfort zone and you got jumped and fucked up, man. You got your leg broke, you couldn't walk for like a month and a half. Now all of a sudden you're low-key scared to go outside your block. It's a pretty traumatic experience. It kind of fucks you up a little bit. Well, that's something that you gotta heal. I mean, aside from your leg being fucked up, that's something that you gotta heal internally. You know, the fear that you have, you gotta heal that. You gotta let go. You gotta forgive those suckers who fucked you up, because they ain't know no better. They in a fucked up place. That's why they do fucked up things. But that takes a lot of healing, and it takes a lot of forgiveness. It takes, you know, that's a whole nother story. So if you still have trauma that's guiding you, and you play devil's advocate, no matter how many options you think of, if you think of every predicament to take, you're really just going to act out of trauma, and you're not really going to get the benefit of taking any of those routes. You're only going to take your regular route. So it's misleading. It can be very misleading to think what if and have a scenario that is a what if of something divinely different and positive and a great outcome that could change your life. And if you get a mental taste of what that's like without any actual experience, well, if you're the type of person who's in your mind a lot, it's gonna mislead you to feel like you kind of had a taste of that, when in reality, you haven't tasted anything. So it can be a slippery slope. Because let's say there's a scenario, I'll use the same one, where there's an opportunity coming up, but it's outside of your box. You know, let's say you're an artist who performs a lot, and there's a huge opportunity where some of the big folks in entertainment are going to be performing, but it's at that same place that you got jumped. You might be kind of fucked up and be like, I don't think I'm going to go there. But it's a big chance. You may get noticed, recognized, you may make some great connects. You know, you can devil's advocate something to the point where it makes you make that difference. But if the trauma is too heavy, it's going to just mislead you. Because if you're in your head a lot, your mind is going to have a taste of that imaginary scenario where you do go, and things do go okay, and things are all right. And you're going to have that taste of things being all right. And that little taste is going to make it so that way you don't have to act on it, because you already tasted it. Now, of course, a taste is very different from an experience. But if we're in our heads a lot, it can be really tricky because it's almost like what our mind consumes, we feel like we consume. But you should know that it's not true. Because there's a lot of what ifs that go on in the mind that do not happen in reality, that you never experientially deal with. Because experience and what you think about are not necessarily the same things. They could be. But usually what we experience, if we have that unhealed trauma, is going to be habitual. And it's going to be patterns. Because usually our actions are based on patterns. You know, like if you're in that comfort zone, you're going to keep doing what you do because it's comfortable. But if you think about all the other options, it's going to give you a taste of something different without actually experiencing something different. And then when the moment happens, you're going to react out of comfort and you're going to do the same old, same old. You know what I mean? It's like I'll give you another example. Let's say, and this has to do with comfort once again. Let's say you're like, yo, I want to lose some weight, man. I want to eat healthy. Yeah. And you're in your head thinking about all the scenarios, all the different foods you could buy. You finally got money, you got paid, you about to go to the store, you about to make it do what it do. So in your mind, you're like, oh, them strawberries. Ooh, I love them. Give me some fucking watermelon. Oh, give me some leafy greens, man. Give me all of this healthy shit. Right? So in your mind, you've already gone food shopping. Your mind has gotten all of these delicious treats, these healthy things. But when you're there, if you get over anxious about being in a crowded store and you're just trying to hurry up and it's just, there's too many people, too many germs, too many things, and you start getting into your trauma state where you're just uncomfortable and you're in these lower states of mind. Your mind already had a smorgasbord, a buffet of healthy meals. So your experience has not. You ain't really eaten none of that shit. Just your mind has tasted it. So when you're there, you might go for the junk food because you're feeling uneasy. And junk food is comfort food. So you might go and get the fucking the box of cakes. And you might go and you might get them fucking Slim Jims. And you might go and get those all types of shit that is just it's the same patterns that got you where you at now. So devil's advocate has given your mind a taste of what it would be like if you were engaging in activities that were different. Because you're thinking differently, which is good. But if you haven't healed that trauma, you're going to be doing the same thing. So my true and honest advice is to be real with yourself. Don't play devil's advocate. Play angel's advocate. Or at least in your mind, go over what you know you're going to do. Because if you, in your head, you're like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to get all those sweet treats. Yeah, cookies, cakes, all of it. Then you're not going to be misleading yourself. And then you're going to keep doing that. And then after a while, when something in you decides to make a difference, you're going to be like, yo, you know what? I have not gotten fucking strawberries in a while. I need to get them. Well, before, it's going to feel like it wasn't that long since you got strawberries. You were just thinking about them. Yeah, you've been thinking about fucking strawberries and grapes and mangoes for weeks on end. So it feels like you've had them more often. But you ain't bought them bitches in like 9 months. So playing devil advocate is giving your brain a taste of it, but not giving your body a taste of it. And your body needs to experience that. You need to live instead of just think. Some people live in their heads. So their living is based on thinking. And I'm not saying don't think. I'm just saying be more in balance and in tune with reality. You know, a lot of people, they are who they think they are. But those are just ideas in their head. And those ideas don't make it into reality. They don't get to impregnate real life. They just stay as concepts that people hold on to and they taste and they're in. And they deal with these concepts mentally so much that they feel like they are them physically also. That they are them experientially. But yo, if you ain't have no fruit in a long time, but you still think about, yo, I'm gonna get some fruit, it's misleading. But if you're like, yo, I'm a junk food the fuck out, and you eat junk food and you think junk food, Eventually, you're gonna be like, yo, I miss those grapes. I miss having something healthy to eat. And you're gonna miss it because you haven't given it the thought. So you're genuinely gonna miss it because you haven't experienced it. And you haven't mentally experienced it, and you didn't have that mental taste. So you're gonna want an actual taste. And realize that actuality trumps most things. But you've got the power to make anything your reality. But we gotta heal them traumas. We can't be reacting out of the subconscious. We have to make conscious differences, which of course you can make because you're a divine being. You're amazing, immaculate, and probably one of the best spirits I've ever been around. And I say that because we are all that way. We just gotta unlock it. It's just hiding behind a wall of trauma. Pfft, ain't nothing, man. You can't tear down a little wall. Of course you can. You're a divine being. And if that wall has gotten big over years and years, you may need a little help. But it's okay, because we got your back. Even the dog got your back, you hear him? He's like, bro, you got this. You got this. And you do. If you need any help, holla at me, because I love you. Bye.